What's going on, guys? Welcome back to F1 22 for what will be the final video on this game. At least, we might come back to this game at some point, maybe in the future, but, after this, it's going to be F1 23 content. But we're doing the video that I promised. I promised this video at the end of F1 2021 as well, but I didn't end up doing it. I didn't go through with my promise. I promised it again this time. I was very close to not getting this done, but I've absolutely smashed this out today. I've finished the simulations today and I've done all the photoshopping stuff on this day, the 12th of June, which should be the day you're seeing this video as well. So I've smashed it out. And yeah, it is simulating the final 7 seasons of My Team Career Mode. So basically what this is, I ended up doing 3 full career mode My Team seasons on this channel. The My Team videos I did. We did 3 seasons, which was less than I was hoping. I was hoping for at least 4. We did 4 in 2021, but this game, just having some issues with this game and all that sort of stuff, you'll know if you've been watching the videos, just didn't quite work out with F1 22, so we only got 3 seasons done, but I have simulated the final 7 seasons, seasons 4 to season 10, just to see what would happen with driver transfers, with people winning and stuff like that. So let's get straight into this, starting off with the driver transfers. So these are the transfers that happened at the end of the last video you saw. We did Abu Dhabi season 3. After that, going into season 4, these were the transfers. So regulation change for powertrain and durability. You would know about that if you watched the final few videos of season 3. And also Lance Stroll retired from Formula 1. That was mentioned towards the end. It was announced that Lance Stroll would be leaving. So he was at Red Bull, so that is leaving a spot at Red Bull, which Felipe Drugovich actually came into the sport from a free agent and took that second seat at Red Bull. Sebastian Vettel also retired from Formula 1 at the end of this season. That I don't think that actually came up as a message during the season. That just kind of ended up happening without me really knowing. But Vettel's out as well. That leaves the space at Aston Martin, which Nicholas Latifi has taken, going from Alpine to Aston Martin. So that's interesting. Latifi was not doing a good job in that Alpine. That Alpine should have been in the points and was actually a really quick car. I think when he joined in, I believe, season 2, it was actually like the second quickest car. He may have joined in season 3 actually, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, he joined and just didn't perform as he should have. So now he's in the Aston Martin. Dan Ticktum has gone from Alfa Romeo into that Alpine seat, so he's got a bit of a promotion there. Oscar Piastri finally joins Formula 1 here. It's a shame that we didn't get to actually race with him in the game because we're just simulating these, but he finally enters Formula 1 with Alfa Romeo. Carlos Sainz is the driver that I decided to snatch up for Season 4, going from Ferrari to TGL Motorsport, and Lando Norris does the exact swap. He goes from our team to Ferrari, so Norris in a Ferrari. That's going to be interesting. And here is the Drivers' Championship positions for Season 4. Carlos Sainz ended up winning it with TGL Motorsport with 199 points, 2 wins and 8 podiums. Valtteri Bottas came second in the McLaren this time around, 179 points, 4 wins for Bottas, so very good year for him at McLaren, and 6 podiums. Verstappen could only manage third with 1 win, 6 podiums. Leclerc fourth with 1 win, 4 podiums. Then Ricciardo 1 win, 5 podiums. Then Norris getting his first win at Ferrari and 1 podium as well. And then we've got myself. You will see that my character Shaw does not do particularly well in these simulations. When you simulate your own driver, they don't do qualifying, so it basically does it as if you're starting from the back, and even if you've got the quickest car, you don't ever seem to get that high up, and also seem to get a lot of mechanical failures, so you won't see my character doing particularly well in these. Then you've got the 2 Mercedes of Russell and Hamilton. Then you've got Drugovich, Ocon, Ticktum, Gasly, Schumacher, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Albon, Schwartzman, Lawson, Piastri, Zhou, and Nicholas Latifi rounding out the grid. And in the Constructors' Championship, McLaren take it out with 312 points, followed by TGL Motorsport, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Haas, Williams, Aston Martin, and Alfa Romeo. Going into Season 5, we only have a regulation change to chassis and not as many driver moves this time around, but Carlos Sainz leaves TGL Motorsport and becomes a free agent, so after winning the championship, he can't find a seat anywhere else. Pierre Gasly is the driver that we snap up from AlphaTauri to join TGL Motorsport. Théo Pourchaire finally joins Formula 1, joining AlphaTauri. Oscar Piastri makes the jump from Alfa Romeo up to Red Bull. So now Piastri is alongside Verstappen in the Red Bull, and Felipe Drugovich has been demoted down from Red Bull to Alfa Romeo. In Season 5, Pierre Gasly wins the championship with TGL Motorsport, 5 wins and 9 podiums for him, followed by Bottas, once again in second place with 2 wins, 7 podiums. Then you've got Ricciardo, 2 wins, 5 podiums. Verstappen picking up that final win and 4 podiums. Decent for Ferrari, but no wins this time around, just 4 podiums for Leclerc and 1 point for Norris. Leclerc almost doubling Norris's points there, so not the greatest season from Norris in the Ferrari. Then you've got Porsche, Russell, Shaw, Tsunoda, Piastri, Hamilton, Ocon, Ticktum, Albon, Schumacher, Drogovic, Magnussen, Lawson, Schwartzman, Zhou, and once again Latifi at the back. And in the Constructors, McLaren take it out again with 308 points, followed by TGL Motorsport, Ferrari, Red Bull, AlphaTauri, Mercedes, Alpine, Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Aston Martin. Going into Season 6, no regulation changes, but once again, a lot of driver moves and some pretty big ones here. Lewis Hamilton retires from Formula 1 at the end of Season 5, leaving a seat open at Mercedes that Valtteri Bottas takes. He goes from McLaren back to Mercedes, where he was many years ago by this time. But yeah, Bottas back into Mercedes again. That's pretty interesting, especially when McLaren are the second, or if not the best car on the grid at the moment. You know, they've just won the Constructors' Championship twice in a row. Mercedes are actually slipping further down the Constructors. I think they finished like 6th last season, so it's not going well for Mercedes. But Bottas has gone back to that team, so that's interesting. But also another interesting one, Carlos Sainz. He's now back out of free agency, and he's gone back to McLaren. So where he was quite a few years ago as well, Carlos Sainz back in the McLaren. And it's all changed for Mercedes because George Russell also retires from Formula 1. Yes, both Mercedes drivers retire in the same year. That is crazy. Taking over his spot at Mercedes is Théo Pourchaire, moving from AlphaTauri to Mercedes. So let's see what he can do. Yuri Vips joins Formula 1 with AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly leaves our team and he also becomes a free agent. So I don't know what it is about people joining our team, winning the championship and then leaving and not being able to find another seat, but we actually end up getting Felipe Massa out of retirement to see if we can win a championship with him. Of course, in real life, he's been trying to get his 2008 championship that he thinks he should have, that he thinks he deserves. He's been trying to get that. So let's see if in this simulation we can actually get him a championship with our team. But Massa can't win the championship because in Season 6, Carlos Sainz wins again, but this time with McLaren. It's a great season for him, 3 wins and 8 podiums. Massa has to finish second, a fair way behind as well, with 2 wins and 6 podiums. Then a much better year for Ferrari, and it's actually Norris beating Leclerc this time around. 1 win, 5 podiums for Norris, 1 win, 4 podiums for Leclerc. Then you've got Verstappen a bit further down, not as good of a year for Red Bull. 2 wins though, and 3 podiums for Verstappen. Then Ricciardo with 1 win and 3 podiums, a long way down from his new teammate Carlos Sainz. My driver, Chris Shaw, actually managed 1 podium this season, so that was pretty great. Then you've got Piastri, Porsche, Schumacher, Bottas, Ocon, Ticktum, Tsunoda, Vips, Drogovic, Schwartzman, Zhou, Albon, Magnussen, Lawson, and once again, Nicholas Latifi. And in the Constructors for Season 6, McLaren take 3 in a row. They are dominating at the moment. And it's Ferrari in second place with TGL Motorsport down in third. Red Bull 4th. Then you've got Mercedes. Haas jumping up to 6th in the Constructors Championship. That is a very good finish for Haas. Then Alpine, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Williams, and Aston Martin. Going into Season 7, we have a big regulation change with a change to aerodynamics, chassis, and durability. So very big switch up for going into Season 7. Mick Schumacher announces he is retiring from Formula 1. So that's a bit of a shock. Leaves Haas, and Richard Verschoor is the driver who takes his place at Haas. So excited to see what Verschoor can do. But yeah, very unusual for Mick Schumacher to leave so early on. Felipe Massa also leaves TGL Motorsport and goes back into retirement. Alexander Albon is the driver that we replaced him with from Williams to TGL Motorsport, and Jehan Daruvala comes out of free agency to join Williams. And in the Drivers' Championship, it's a pretty dominant display by Alexander Albon, who wins with TGL Motorsport 8 wins and 9 podiums for him. The only other driver to take wins this season was Carlos Sainz in second place, 2 wins and 10 podiums. By the way, I only did 10 race seasons just because it's easier to simulate through, it goes through quicker, so I was just doing 10 race seasons. Ricciardo comes home in third with 8 podiums, then Tsunoda with 1 podium. It's a good year for AlphaTauri because Vips is only 2 places behind him he doesn't have any podiums, but it's a decent season as well for him. AlphaTauri very good this season, and my driver actually comes in the middle there in 5th place with 2 podiums, so nice for my driver to get 2 podiums here. Then you've got a great one from Haas. Look at this, Richard Verschoor down there in 7th place, I think. Verschoor in the Haas, 44 points. Great from him, beating both Ferraris. You've got Lando Norris next, then Kevin Magnussen also up there on 34 points. Great work from him too. Some backmarker teams of Haas and Williams doing good this season. And then he is sandwiched between the 2 Ferraris with Leclerc behind, then Ocon. Daruvala also picking up some points for Williams. Verstappen in the Red Bull, only 7 points, and P13, I think. It's been a terrible year for Red Bull. Then it's Schwartzman, Lawson, Ticktum, Piastri at Red Bull, no points for him. But another big shock, Porsche and Bottas for Mercedes, both scoring no points, and they are 19th and 18th in the championship for the Mercedes drivers. Terrible stuff for them. Then you've got Latifi not finishing last this time because it's the 2 Alfa Romeos at the back of Drogovic and Zhou. And this is a pretty interesting Constructors Championship. Once again, Mercedes take the win. They're just dominant in the Constructors at the moment. And then it's TGL Motorsport second. AlphaTauri have jumped all the way up to 3rd place. Great job from them. Beating Ferrari in 4th. Haas are 5th in the Constructors Championship. And only 1 point behind them is Williams, 6th in the Constructors Championship. Awesome to see those two doing so well. Then you've got Alpine. Then it's all the way down in 8th place for Red Bull. 9th is Aston Martin. Mercedes are in 10th place in the Constructors Championship with no points. And then Alfa Romeo at the back. Going into Season 8, no more regulation changes, but a few driver moves to talk about. Alexander Albon goes from TGL to being a free agent once again. Driver wins the championship with us, and we let them go and they can't find another seat. Marcus Armstrong is the driver that I decided to get into the team. Thought I'd try something a bit different, get an F2 driver. He comes into TGL Motorsport. Esteban Ocon goes from Alpine to Mercedes. So don't know what he saw in the Mercedes because they did not have a good season last time out. But he's joined Mercedes. Teo Porcher's gone the other way. He's gone from Mercedes to Alpine. So one of those guys making a better move. I mean, going off that season, you'd say that Porsche's made the better move there, but maybe Mercedes are going to come back up. It is Mercedes after all. Yuri Vips has lost his seat at AlphaTauri. He's back to being a free agent. And Pierre Gasly is back with AlphaTauri once again. And there's a lot going on in the Drivers' Championship this time around, but it's Marcus Armstrong who wins the Season 8 Championship with TGL Motorsport, only just by a few points there. What is that, like 4 points? But he wins 5 wins and 8 podiums. Then it's Sainz with 3 wins, 8 podiums. Ricciardo with 4 podiums. Norris, 1 win and 4 podiums. Gasly gets 2 podiums for AlphaTauri. Then Porsche with 1 podium. Leclerc with 1 win, 1 podium. Verstappen is back. Still not quite where he was, but he has at least got 1 podium with then Tsunoda. Piastri also grabs a podium, I think his first podium in Formula 1 with Red Bull. Then it's Shaw, Verschoor, Lawson, Ocon, Ticktum, Bottas, Schwartzman, Magnussen, Drogovic, Daruvala, Zhou, and Latifi's back at the back again. Mercedes do pick up a few points this time, but it's still not looking good for them. And in the Constructors, once again, McLaren out on top, TGL Motorsport in second, Ferrari back to third, AlphaTauri do drop down to fourth, Red Bull are up to fifth, then it's Alpine, Haas, still decent, but not as high as they were, Mercedes picking up a few points, only 7 points though, to finish P8, then you've got Aston Martin, Williams, and Alfa Romeo. Going into Season 9, not a lot going on here. Just a regulation change to the powertrain. Charles Leclerc retires from Formula 1, so he's been fairly convincingly beaten by Norris in the last couple of seasons. So he's decided that it's his time to pack it in, and Alexander Albon is going to come out of free agency, to join Ferrari. And it's actually Carlos Sainz who wins once again in Season 9. I think this might be his... Is this his third championship now? Possibly, because I think he's won one championship with us, and this is now his second championship, I think, with McLaren. So he's doing great stuff here. 4 wins and 8 podiums. Verstappen, Red Bull are back up there. He's in second with 2 wins, 5 podiums. Then Norris with 2 wins, 6 podiums. Armstrong only manages 4th this time around with 2 wins and 4 podiums. We decided to keep Armstrong on for a second season, but he couldn't quite get the championship this time around. Ricciardo then with 5 podiums. Albon with 2 podiums. Then we've got Gasly, Piastri, Bottas, Vershaw, Porsche, Tsunoda, Shaw, Ocon, Lawson, Magnussen, Ticktum, Schwartzman, Deruvala, Drogovic, Latifi, and Zhou at the bottom. And in the Constructors, McLaren take it once again. It's Ferrari in second place, Red Bull in third, and TGL Motorsport down in fourth this time. Not as good of a season for us this time. Then you've got AlphaTauri, Mercedes moving back up, but still not where they want to be. Then Haas, Alpine, Aston Martin, Williams, and Alfa Romeo. And going into the final season, Season 10, there is another regulation change to aero, chassis, and durability. So another big one here. But at this point, most teams, well, all teams, I think, are fully maxed out. And yeah, I don't think it'll change the order a bit, but there might be some surprises. Marcus Armstrong leaves TGL Motorsport and goes to Williams. Max Verstappen joins TGL Motorsport, leaves Red Bull after a few not great years. It looks like Red Bull's on the up, but he's decided to join TGL Motorsport. And Kevin Magnussen has gone from Williams, our old teammate back in, I think it was Season 2, when we were actually, properly playing the game. He has now joined Red Bull. And Season 10 is the most dominant season we've seen this whole simulation. Verstappen wins with our team, 227 points, over Sainz with 157 points. So it is big domination. 8 wins for Verstappen, 9 podiums. It's 2 wins for Sainz and 8 podiums. Then it's Ricciardo with 3 podiums. Gasly up there in 4th with 3 podiums. But Richard Vershaw in the Haas is in 5th place in the championship with 3 podiums. He was actually 3rd in the championship until the final round. Seriously, he was 3rd in the championship before round 10. Crazy. Then you've got Tsunoda, Norris with 3 podiums, Ocon, Shaw, Albon, Porsche, Lawson, Piastri managing 1 podium this season, although once again it looked like Red Bull took a step back, also probably losing Verstappen didn't help. Then Bottas, Magnussen, Armstrong, Drogovic, Deruvala, Ticktum, Schwartzman, Latifi, and Zhou Guanyu. And for the Constructors in Season 10, McLaren are finally displaced at the top by TGL Motorsport. Verstappen was so dominant that he pretty much single-handedly won us the Constructors Championship. It's McLaren second, AlphaTauri, very good job in third, Ferrari fourth, Haas back up there in 5th on the Constructors, that is amazing. Then Mercedes, Red Bull, not where they want to be, I'm sure, Alpine, Aston Martin, Williams, and Alfa Romeo once again at the bottom. So there we have it. That is the simulation for the final 7 seasons of my F1 22 My Team Career Mode. I am very excited. I'm not excited by what happened, but, well, yeah, I guess I am. That's not really the way to put it, but a lot of interesting moves here. If these would have happened if we, kept playing the game, then that would have been really exciting. I really hope that with F1 23, the game is decent from the get-go and I can just have fun with the game and at least do 4 seasons. If not, hopefully more, as long as, they still have the kind of 10 race seasons, 16 race seasons, and, 22 or whatever the max is. I'll probably do what I did with F1 22 and do like a 16 race season from the get-go. Just because it takes a long time to get through, 22 races. So we'll probably do a 16 race season from Season 1 and just continue doing that throughout, swapping races out here and there each season. But yeah, I cannot wait for F1 23. It is actually midnight tonight when the game releases for me. I won't be able to play it then, but I'll hopefully be starting playing it tomorrow after work, and then yeah, should see videos. Might be a few days until you see the start of the season, but hopefully it won't be too far away for you guys. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.